Thank you. Hello everyone. This is one of the latest talk of the day. I guess that everybody is tired and is waiting for the cocktail party in more than 1 hour. So my name is Jérôme Perani from Axeptio, and I'm gonna present you a very boring topic, which is user consent and data. I'm just kidding, because two main messages of this presentation. The first one is that user consent is an obligation, and therefore it's a strategic topic. And the second one, which will be the second part of the talk, is that user consent is generating data that can be super useful to analyze on P analytics, thanks to a connector deployed and developed by Axeptio. So my name is Jérôme. I used to work in the media industry. I met a couple of former colleagues today. And I'm working at Axeptio, which is a global consent management platform. So we are a French company, but we are expanding fast. Not only in Europe, but also in the Americas, because we have a subsidiary in Canada. And we have acquired a company in Brazil. We are 80 people. And by consent management platform, we mean this UI, but we are providing several UI. So all these annoying cookie banners that you are seeing on website are consent management platform. Privacy notice, cookie banners, several names. And Axeptio, as I said, is a SaaS solution for managing user consent. We are compliant with international data protection regulation, not only in Europe with GDPR, but also in Canada, the French part of Canada, in Quebec with Law 25, CCPA for California, and we are used by more than 100,000 websites. Some logos of our clients, e-commerce in Europe, FIBA, which is the International Federation of Basketball, and what else we can say? Mistral, which is one of the AI company that is growing fast in Europe. So let's start by some news about user consent. And the main lesson of the, let's say, last 2 years is that what happened in Europe no longer stays in Europe. By this, we mean that the privacy topic is not only a European topic, it's a global phenomenon. So more than 100 countries are applying data protection regulation, and we will see in a couple of seconds that the USA is a very interesting market regarding privacy. Why? And I would like to start by this question. I'm pretty sure that nobody in this room knows this man, so if someone knows this man, please raise your hand. There is nobody. So this man is the most impactful man on earth regarding data protection. He lives in Texas. He's the Attorney General. Ken Paxton is the Attorney General of Texas. And his track record is more than 3 billion settlement, one with Meta, 1.5 with Google, and now he's suing one of the largest insurance companies in the US because of geolocation data harvesting. Google, it was also a question of location tracking without user consent. And Meta, it was the case was about biometric data. When I joined Axeptio 2 years ago, I was not aware that in the US, not only California, but almost 20 states are using, at the state level, data protection regulation. And you see that it's all over, from West Coast to East Coast. And as we said, Texas is a very severe state today, thanks to this guy. And if you type on Google or on any news website, data protection US, you will see a lot of complaints and a lot of cases right now. And if you remember that the CCPA law in California was implemented in 2020, 5 years later, this is the largest fine ever defined by the Californian authority, 1.5 billion, 1.5 million US dollar for the first health information site and 3 major failures. The first one was the purpose of the data collection. The second one is the resale of data to the advertising ecosystem. And the third one was the incapacity to build and maintain CCPA compliant contract with advertisers and other third parties. So this is a wave. So it means that when we are talking about cookie banners, it's not only a European topic, it's a global phenomenon. And as we said, we have acquired a company in Brazil because there is a local law, LPD, which is also implementing for several years. So that's the obligation from the legal point of view. But there is also a second battlefield, which is activist. So I guess, who knows this company? A couple of people. They are based in Austria. This is Noib. I don't remember exactly the name, N-O-Y-B, but just in the last year, they have not only name and shame companies, but they are sending complaints to local data protection authority. So for example, the first one, BeReal. BeReal is a very famous social video mobile app, and they open the app every day. And every day, when they are using a privacy notice within the app, they say no. And so each day, BeReal is popping the privacy notice until the end user will say yes. So they launch a PR and they file a complaint in France with the CNIL, which is the official name of the local data protection body in France. And so BeReal is a subsidiary of Voodoo, and Voodoo is one of the largest mobile video studio in the world. So it means that Voodoo now is on fire due to that activist complaint. And the second one is Waiter Online. So it's also a mobile app, very popular in the dark region. And Waiter Online does not display any privacy notice within its app. And they say to NOIB, no, we don't want to display anything. So another battle for NOIB in the dark region. So this is the second battlefield. So the first one is legal. The second one is activist. So that means that if you are operating a company or a digital service in Europe, if you do something that is not in the standard expected by the GDPR, you can be at any time under the spotlight of this activist association. And the third battlefield is the company that I cannot say the word, because I was told to avoid to say the word, but I will say the word, Google. Google is embracing consent with 2 major initiatives. The first one named Consent Mode, and it's consent. Who knows Consent Mode V2? A lot of people. If you are working in the analytics team, you might have received email or seen in some tools of Google some red flag regarding Consent Mode V2 since March 24, because since March 24, Google is enforcing the market to use its own technical framework to collect consent with Consent Mode V2. And who is affected? It's any apps and any website that are using ads and analytics solution from that company. And the second battlefield, and I will share a couple of examples later, is from Google checklist. The second topic is companies that are using AdMob and AdSense, so monetization solution from that company. Google is telling to the market, you must use a solution certified by me. So there is a couple of partners. We are one of the partners of Google regarding that. So they launch a CMP partner program with not only Axeptio, but many competitors. So let's say all the leading companies in this market are certified by Google. And if a publisher is not using a certified CMP compliant with the IAB TCF V2 framework, the publisher will lose the control of the user experience. And I would like to show you some examples from publisher. The first one is the International Federation of Volleyball. In September, it was the World Championship, won by Italy in front of Bulgaria. And look at what happened to a European user. So it was on a French IP. That's why the CMP, the pop-up in white is in French. And you see there is a cookie banner at the bottom of the screen. And in the middle of the screen, there is something that is popping up with a generic text. So the publisher is controlling his CMP at the bottom of the screen, but is not controlling what is happening on the screen due to Google. So Google is interfering within the end user experience. Why? Because the International Federation of Volleyball is using somewhere some advertising solution provided by that company. And in order to comply to DMA and DSA, Google decided alone to display its own CMP to get the consent. So you see there is a huge problem for the end user because he's saying 2 cookie banners, which is not allowed at all by any European data protection authority. Second example, so on look at the left part of the slide. This is the official website of the NBA in Europe. So if you go to the official website NBA in Europe and you can open your smartphone, and if you are going to a news article on that website, you will see the same Google UI. So it means that the digital team at the NBA, is there anybody from the NBA in the room? I think nobody. So it means that the NBA is not aware that its international traffic in Europe is seeing this type of CMP. And as I said, it's Google that is deciding alone at the right moment to display that. And the last example on the right is the Toronto Star. Same problem. Toronto Star is not aware that in Europe, Google is displaying its own CMP. And as I said, we are expanding fastest Europe. So the screen capture is coming from our sales director, which is based in Brussels, Belgium. And he's using his Dutch browser. So you see that this means that if you are operating digital services with monetization in Europe, and if you don't use IAB TCF CMP, you will have some problem regarding the end user experience. So legal, activist, Google, it means that consent is key, not only to collect data, but it's key to you must follow the guidelines in order to deliver a proper experience. That was the first part of the presentation. So it's an obligation, but it's also an opportunity. Because as I said, to display something in order to collect the end user consent means that any CMP, and by the way, Axeptio, we are collecting data. We are collecting the fact that the user is saying something on the screen, so a cookie banner or privacy notice, and the end user will say yes to all vendors, or no to all vendors, or only yes to a certain limited number of vendors, what we call the partial consent. So it means that, like a conversion funnel from an e-commerce point of view, we have 3 consent metrics along the funnel. The first one is the percentage of people that will interact, so that will click, scroll within the consent management platform. So the first metric is the interaction rate. The second one is the consent rate, which means the percentage of people among that first population, so people who are playing with the widget, how many people are saying yes among that population. And if you multiply the two ratios, you will get the overall opt-in rate. So from, let's say, state-of-the-art average metrics, it means that if you are, like in this example, around 70% consent rate, if you have an opt-in rate of 70%, you are in the best class. On average, for example, in e-commerce in France, it's 50%. So it means that you have two segments, people who are saying yes and people who are saying no. And this type of information will be super interesting to combine with analytics metrics. I will detail further in a few minutes. So all these metrics, so the free ratio, are impacted by the user experience. So at Axeptio, we have a large track record of analyzing and optimizing all this ratio, and we have defined a certain number of, how can I say that? A certain number of UX elements that can impact all these ratios. So the first one is, where is the banner? Left, right, top, bottom, middle. The second one is consent wall, so it is something that will block, freeze the website in order to say yes, no, or partial user consent. Because we have seen on the market that a lot of people are capable to visit a website without touching the cookie banners. So that's why the interaction rate is below 100%. The third item is number of seconds before the appearance of the privacy notice. All the product UX design elements are also super impactful. Design, contracts, colors, usage of logo. There is something technical, drop shadow, that is also super important to have in mind to improve the different rates. And the last one, which is very key, and that's the unique positioning of Axeptio, we think that wording and messaging are super important to engage a conversation between a brand, a website, or mobile apps, and its user and its audiences. So for example, at Axeptio, we are capable to generate via an AI agent a lot of messages. So for example, we have clients that want to have very serious messaging, and others that want to have very funny messages. And we think that we need to humanize the relationship between the brand and the end users in order to improve the trust and so the different ratios. We worked for 1 year with Piano in order to build connectors that will capable our clients to stream metrics, and not only the free ratio, but to stream metrics to Piano Analytics. So we are capable to send 9 consent metrics, and these metrics are available in Piano solution. So we can send number of displays, the opt-in rate, interaction rate, consent rate. We can also send the device type of the end users, the version of the CMP, the daily evolution of any metrics. And it is very simple, but just a toggle button in our solution. And we are proud to announce that we provide now a consent dashboard that is available in the library of Piano, so a template, a consent template. So you will find on this dashboard all these consent metrics that are super strategic with the powerful data visualization of Piano Analytics. So it enables to get a clear and structured view of how the CMP can impact user experience and also can impact different performances. For example, conversion, if you are an e-commerce or a subscription platform. And so all these metrics coming from our content platforms can also be combined with traditional web analytics metrics, and we think that it can unleash analysis capabilities. So remember that people are saying yes to all vendors, people are saying no to all vendors, and people are in the middle with a partial user content. It means that you have 3 segments to analyze. So if you combine that with all the metrics available in the traditional piano analytics solution, you can have several types of analysis. So for example, you can compare engagement and conversion metrics based on the different segments. So you can compare page view per session, bounce rate, time spent, conversion rate across the different segments. One of the also the third line of this table is also emphasizing the fact that you can also correlate or not the interaction rate of session with the session length, with the page views. And last but not least, I think the last one is super important. When you are operating a website, you have many types of template of web pages. And many companies are using also a lot of landing pages for many use cases. So you can combine this page view data with the type of page or content category, so cluster of pages. So it's super important because you can identify pages or you can identify section of pages that have the most percentage of opt-in rate. It means that you can identify among your website the different clusters where people are more open to say yes, and so people are giving their trust most in specific zone of website. So, as I said, consent is super important. It's a strategic topic. It should be part of any digital analysis view. It's in the e-commerce. They have built a lot of techniques to optimize the conversion funnel. So in the e-commerce, they have now people who are in charge of conversion rate optimization. They have built teams of conversion rate, CRO, not Chief Revenue Officer, but conversion rate optimization. And we think in the future that more and more digital marketers will be in charge of consent rate, because if you improve the consent or the opt-in rate, you are collecting more data and you are more able to collect, analyze, and activate this data. Thank you very much. I think I am on time, perfect time. Let's say the MIC. Thanks. And if you have any question, the last slide. Don't remember to say thank you and see you at our booth today or tomorrow, or at the cocktail party, or at the official after party. If you have any question, I know the day has been long. There's one question. Any tips? As I said, so in the slide with all the different items, so it's a very long process. We have a client that made tests for almost 1 year. So they made a series of tests first to improve the interaction rate, and then they made tests to improve the conversion rate. So once the interaction rate was at a certain level, they decided to change other items in order to improve the second ratio. And at the end, as I said, the multiplication of the two ratio is optimizing the final result, which is the opt-in rate. So that's one approach. And the second approach is to have A/B test. So A/B test can be done with Google Tag Manager or any tag manager system. And more solutions like ours, and Axeptio is also providing that. Natively, we are providing A/B test among the platforms, so you can define several configurations, and you can do some A/B tests, and you will see which will be the winner. But what is important is that the strength of the brand is super strategic. I will give you two examples. We have two clients in France. The first one is Opéra National de Paris, which is super famous in the French, in the culture segment. The opt-in rate is super high. We have another client, which is Dorsel. It's one of the largest adult entertainment company in France. And guess what? The conversion rate is super low. The consent rate is super low. So from one brand to another, it depends on the category. For example, the International Federation of Basketball, and we have also the Paris Basketball as a client. Both brands are super young, super attractive for international audiences. Basketball is a growing sport, and so the performances before doing any test are super high, just by the power of the brand and the structure of the traffic. Any else? For the overall opt-in, so below 50%, it's deceptive. Between 50 to 60, you are in the average. I am putting aside the industry of the brand effect. And if you are over 60, so global opt-in rate, if you are over 60, it's going to be good. And if you are over 70, you are world class. And obviously, it depends from iOS and Android. It depends from mobile apps and a website. So it's known, the German market is the toughest one. So in Germany, people are reluctant to say yes. So that's one of my answers regarding that topic. Last one. I think we are done. Thanks a lot, everyone.